I hate to break the fishing news after Remchuk, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations. You're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today.
Welcome into... shit. I didn't look up what episode number was. 297 or 298. One of those two. It's the Real Life Podcast. I'm Tyler Rumchuk. Jay's here. Wanye Chalmers. We're brought to you by the HGA Group. Fuck, I'm having a day. Your next generation of business services and a proud sponsor of this pod. And we love them very much. No bag milk, but we'll have more on that in just a second here. Everyone having a complete normal one. Nothing really big happening in the last hour or so here.
Nothing I can think of.
No horrible trade the Oilers have found a way to piece together or anything like that.
I haven't heard of any breaking news.
Everyone having an absolute normal one so far.
I'm processing right now. I'm still processing because I don't know where I land yet.
I haven't been on social media in a couple hours. What happened?
I'm still processing how a trade that bad could happen. It just doesn't really make a ton of sense.
So what happened, your Chuck? And let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's dig into this. Like I said, bag milk. We'll have more on why bag milk is in here in just a second. He is quite literally going to be popping in. But until bag milk hops in and derails the show, the Oilers traded Caleb Jones and a third-round pick for Duncan Keith with no money retained. Yeah, $5.5 million. 38-year-old Duncan Keith under contract for the season coming up, and one more. It's a lot of money for a guy who's pretty old.
Yeah, he's old. He's definitely old. We'll give him that.
And also not that good.
Yeah, well, we don't know that. That's the thing. Like, everyone's ripping him because he's been playing with rookies for the last two seasons. So I don't know. I don't know if that's a fair comment, but I'm still just trying to process how this works. Oh, yes, I forgot. Bag Milk is coming into the office and doing the podcast live, and he just came into the office right now.
Yeah, we're getting derailed quickly here.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot Bag Milk was coming down here. And he, I think, brought a gift of some variety. So this is exciting. So
listen, is either the Oilers are sinking or you're getting a gift? Which is it?
It's both.
Well, hey.
Okay. Duncan Keith. What do we think? You think he's washed up your Chuck?
He like, here's what I'll say on this is that he could come in and be a solid second pairing defenseman for the Oilers. He could be. But even if that were the case, he's not worth $5.5 million. And in a cap era, that has to be discussed. The Oilers have an offseason coming up here where they had money to spend and really improve their team. And they overspent in an area that won't help them win many more games next season. It's a mistake. And on top of that, you gave up two assets in the deal. So now next year, when we're sitting at the deadline looking to load up, we're going to be sitting here going, damn, they don't have a third round pick that they can use for a rental winger or a third line center in a trade or anything like that because they dealt it. And now on top of all this, you're losing someone else in the expansion draft. So the deal is going to be more like Jones and a third and like Tyler Benson or Josh Archibald as well. Like, you're sacrificing so much for a player who is overpaid, well past his prime, and gave Chicago a list of teams, and you were one of two of them. How do you lose this trade?
We held the cards. You're right. So, okay. So let's just agree and park the side, because I don't want to shit on Duncan Keith, the player. I still think he's got some game.
Sure.
Because skating has always been his forte. So he's still that's going to help him play a longer career than others. Yes. So doing this trade before the expansion draft is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Giving a pickup and not have them take on any salary, whether it be a player or retention, is very weird to me.
Yep.
I'm still trying to process this.
The initial offer was apparently Jones, a fourth round pick, and Koskinen, which would have been better.
Well, I would have been fine with that.
Yeah.
I would have been totally fine with that. Because then it makes sense.
Bag notes in the building. What's up, Chalmers?
I went to social media just recently because I wanted to see how people were reacting to the Duncan Keith trade. And
your phone immediately on fire?
My initial reaction was that, you guys, everybody wants to shit on the deal. Now, whether or not the deal
because they should, Chalmers.
Okay, fair enough. But here's what I'll say. Here's what we do historically, and we never look back to see if we were right or wrong. We live too fucking hard in the moment. But what we do, and what I'm fearing, is that we all harp on the deal so much within the next week, 2 weeks, that Duncan Keith comes in here without a fucking chance, right? Now, we don't want to we want a guy, look, the deal's done. We can't do anything about it. So can we have our opinions on it? Yes. But do we want to sit down and drag this player, tell him, say he's washed up, have him come here and be like, fuck, these fucking fan base doesn't even want me. I get that I have a higher salary. Now, my view on this is when Corey Perry and Eric Stahl were both available, nobody gave a shit. We laughed at getting Corey Perry, okay? You can argue that those two pieces were an intricate part in them getting to the Stanley Cup final. There was a young team there who needed veteran leadership and guys who were in Stanley Cup finals, guys who have won Stanley Cup finals, guys who know how to win. We talked about this like a month ago, where we said one of the biggest problems the Oilers have is they don't know how to win. They don't have a veteran presence in that locker room who can sit our stars down, our young players, and show them, not even say anything, but show them. Perry and Stahl both did that. Now, these sports are copycat leagues. I guarantee Holland saw that and said, we got to get a guy like that. We've got to get somebody in that role. There might not have been that many available. So do you overpay for a guy like Duncan Keith, who, is probably on the downside of his career? But we don't know how this is going to play out. Nobody knows if Caleb Jones is going to be good. We have seen what Duncan Keith can do. Maybe he's going to be rejuvenated because he's on a team with the two best hockey players, in my opinion, in the NHL right now. So to sit here and just shit on the deal, fine. But to go any further than that, to say that this is bullshit, to look forward and give your opinion as to whether or not we're going to have a third round pick for a draft, who we're going to lose in the it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. Of course it does.
How does it not fucking matter?
How does it not matter?
They paid $5.5 million for a guy. They blew cap space on him.
So, you talked about Stahl and Perry. Those two guys cost 30% of Duncan Keith's contract.
Combined.
So, okay, Chalmers, I agree with you. We have to isolate this from the Duncan Keith. I am happy he's an Oiler. When all this happened, I am happy because of exactly what Chalmers just said. I still think he has some jam left in him, and if he's paired with a good defenseman, so who's going to be Larson in the second pair if we re-sign him, anyways? I think he'll be in a position to perform, and I think his resume is something that this dressing room needs. I think he's a fucking cool cucumber that can sit these guys down and cool them down. So I'm with Chalmers. Like, that's the thing. Duncan Keith, if you ever hear him talk, he is a cool fucking cat. And he just might be the perfect player for like a reclamation project. Like this guy, he's been stagnant in Chicago for the past however many years. He hasn't been feeling it. And that can fucking weigh on him. And now he might feel rejuvenated and come in and absolutely shock us, right? Like, I think he will
become this player. And I think he will too. And I believe that come 3/4 of the way through the season, or even halfway through the season next year, we'll be looking back at this trade, and all the things that you guys are saying right now will not apply. Caleb Jones probably will still not have cracked the lineup. So will we have needed help at the deadline? Who fucking knows?
Chalmers, you did a 180 on me. I thought one thing, and then you said a thing, and then I think another thing. As always, well done.
So Chalmers, now let's break out the human side and the potential upside of Duncan Keith. Now let's talk about the business transaction end of it and the reality around that. Because I'm with you on the positivity.
It's shit. I gotta agree.
Because like the reason why that draft pick and the prospects are so important for us, because that's our monopoly money, our trade capital at the deadline. Because even Tampa's adding at the trade deadline. Like, good teams are making key acquisitions at the deadline and a Caleb Jones and a 3rd round pick, those are the things that you need. So the fact that we gave up both, and if we gave up both, I would have been fine.
No retained salary.
If Mikko goes back, or if a contract goes back, or if there's salary retention, because at least it's opened up cap space for us to do some stuff when we need it, or more cap space to have when free agency opens up. So there is the cost to acquire the player that I like is shitty.
Yeah,
it's like Chalmers. You rolled into Circle K and you're like, I want a Slurpee, and the guy behind the thing's like, okay, but your Slurpee costs $1,000. You're not going to buy it.
Chalmers loves Slurpees. Yeah. You'd be all over that shit.
Yeah.
But Ken Holland bought the $1,000 Slurpee today.
Yes, and he did. And you know what? To catch myself in being a hypocrite, I am also playing the speculation game, right? I am. I'm speculating that he's been stagnant. I'm speculating that he has a second act to his career. I'm speculating that Caleb Jones isn't going to. I am too. I'm doing it on a way where I'm not looking at the deal. Is the deal a good deal? No, it's not. So let's not go and sit there and like a lot of the stuff I'm seeing is just shitting on Duncan Keith. And it's like, well, no, people should be shitting on Ken Holland. He got, yes, and that's totally fine. Now, Ken Holland's done some good things. He's done some bad things. Do we still have faith in the old boy? I have to say,
I have
this one move. Yeah, I agree, and I don't blame you. I don't, but it's all negative. Not one.
And I agree that you don't want Duncan Keith to come to town. You're like, what the fuck is up with the fans here?
Yeah, man. We always do this to players.
We always spaz. You're Remchuk. You're so popular. You always spaz.
I don't spaz. When have I ever hate everybody?
People always spaz because the Oilers have been bad for a fucking decade plus.
Yeah, like I'm
Look
not.
Look at your mad face right now.
Trauma.
You're making a spaz.
I'm not mad. That's just like that's a shitty point to make.
Oh my god! You backed it up with another spaz.
Remchuk, I want your serious opinion on your outlook on what a Caleb Jones career looks like. Are we really giving up on somebody who you think had some serious potential to be a mainstay and a contributor with this team?
Yeah, I think if things don't break Caleb Jones's way in the next 2 years, like he's only 24 years old, he'll, be out of the league by the time he's 26, 27. The middle ground and his likely the likely point he's going to end up, I think he'll end up being a solid third pairing puck moving defenseman. I think that's what he'll be. And then there's the potential that things click. He finds a partner he's very good with, and he's a really good top 4 second pairing defenseman who moves the puck and skates like the wind. Like that's his upside. And the Oilers wanted to give up on that because they thought they were going to lose it to Seattle.
Now they're going to lose somebody else.
And now they're going to lose somebody else. So like, I don't really get that.
But protect Duncan Keith.
I think if Caleb Jones works out in 14 years, we can get him back because that's when we like players when they're 38.
That's exactly what this
is. Let's okay. So now let's try to see this through and play the long game and try to now be positive around Ken Holland. Maybe
I'm out of this conversation.
No. Just no. But like, let's see if he is actually playing chess, what his potential moves are that would make us feel better. So say there's a situation now. Now, granted, we gave up the third, so whatever. That he can do some deal for the Kraken to take a player that we don't want with high salary.
Well, the Chicago Blackhawks just got rid of a player they didn't want with a high salary and got 2 assets back for him.
And had
Ken
zero leverage. Zero leverage.
Yeah. So, but we're being positive in this situation.
So Ron Francis is going to look at Ken Holland. I'm well aware of all this. There's a fucking sucker at the table right now.
So what if once again, I am just drink the Kool-Aid with me for 1 second. What if there's some magical way that then Holland pulls off something where they eat Neal or they eat Koskinen? How do you feel about this after the fact?
Are they literally going to eat Koskinen? Because that may soothe bag milk.
Yeah, I'd be much happier if you actually ate Koskinen.
I don't see a scenario where that happens and is a clean transaction. And even then, the Duncan Keith trade should have had no effect on that. Like everything he does from this point forward, he could go make good moves. And I'm still somewhat confident that Ken Holland can potentially, add a couple of impact forwards to this team, but it just won't change the fact that for this year and the season after, you're paying $5.5 million for Duncan Keith when you absolutely shouldn't be.
Okay,
he just got fleeced by a guy who was on the mat.
So
Yeah.
the next important thing to always consider in anything Oilers during this window of opportunity is, what did Connor say? What did Connor think?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
I
fuck,
need
I don't
forwards,
care.
Uncle Ken. And then Ken's like, okay, I'll go get you a 40-year-old defenseman.
Does Connor not sign off on this?
Does Connor approve this deal in advance? He must.
Okay, but even if Connor
he might not
says-
approve of what was given up, but did he say, yes, bring Duncan Keith, we need this type of leadership?
I'm sure Connor McDavid would not have said no to it, but the job of a GM is not to go pay $5.5 million for a guy just because you think he has good veteran leadership qualities. Like, all the positive, I see the positives of the Keith trade. Like, Chalmers keeps saying, you know, we're ripping on. I'm not ripping on Keith at all. Again, I think there is a chance he ends up being a really competent top 4 D-man who brings those intangibles off the ice and is a leader in the room and can help do what Corey Perry did for the Habs. Agree. If the Oilers got Duncan Keith at $2.8 million, I'd be a lot more positive about this. And if they signed him as a free agent for 1.5, I'd be over the fucking moon about this thing. But the bottom line is, in a cap era, you cannot piss away $3+ million and assets and future assets in a deal like this. Like, it's inexcusable for Ken Holland. And even if Duncan Keith comes in next year and is a good top 4 defenseman and gives them good results, it won't change the fact that they overpaid for him. Like, that's just the bottom line.
They could have got a middle 6 forward with the money that they spent on Duncan Keith.
Future assets and stuff that you hold. You know how I'll analyze that is every so often I buy bulk in construction materials that I need because they're future assets. I can use them later. And then you know what ends up happening is they end up sitting on my fucking garage shelves and they never get used and they become worthless. That is what future assets can become. Okay. We know what Duncan Keith is. He is something we can use right now. I agree. The money, I'm never going to disagree with you that. I like a deal just as much as the next guy. 5.5 seems awfully high considering what we just signed Nuge for. You know what I mean? Like, it does. There's just
that's
two ways about that. What I'd like to see though is a lot less of this. The deal's done. This is how I deal with every problem in my life. I have the problem happen. The deal. I don't like it. Okay, so I'm mad. I'm mad about that deal. But I quickly realized there is zero I can fucking do about it. Zero. So what I try to do now is I try to make the best of it. I try to take, as a fan base, take Duncan Keith and go, look, obviously there is some huge discrepancy from what we feel like the deal should have been. But you know what, dude? We're glad to have you. Live up to it, right? I'd rather welcome him that way as opposed to just him going on social media today and seeing what a bunch of fucking idiots. This is not what we fucking needed. And him be like, fuck these guys. Like, they don't know shit.
Have him talk to Mike Smith. Mike Smith can walk him through how to deal with it and come back and shove it right in our fucking...
Yeah, have one big game and everyone will love you, bro.
There's the next season, middle of next season, there's going to be 2 camps of people. There's going to be the people that disliked this trade and the people that didn't fucking so much care about the deal because, look, fact of the matter is I don't know what the hell they're working on. You never know all the ins and outs of what they're doing, but whether or not you supported this deal or you don't, middle of next season, one camp will be right. And let's just try to put him in the best position he possibly can to succeed and hope to God that the people that didn't want him are wrong.
So Chalmers, I want you to go do one thing right now. What? I want you to go and order a Duncan Keith Oilers jersey.
Imagine he did.
What number is he again?
269.
69.
He's 38. He's number
5.8 million.
38.
Middle name is 5.5 million.
You know what's even more irritating about this deal for me now that I'm still kind of unpacking things and all that is that so Duncan Keith's cap hit is $5.5 million for the next 2 seasons. His actual salary owed is $2.1 million this year and $1.5 million the year after. So even if Chicago would have retained money from their perspective, a rebuilding team, they would have actually only been keeping a total of like 1.7 something million in actual dollars. Like the fact the Oilers couldn't get them to keep half is just.
So hold on, we pay him 2.8 or we pay him 5?
But I need you to explain
that. But that doesn't affect the AAV. Like they would have to like
the AAV is the problem.
That's the problem. So like,
okay. You guys
Explain
They
though.
have money. They can pay the salary.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
no.
the way-
the guys that know,
Yeah.
what are we paying him and what is his cap hit? Are those two totally different numbers?
two totally different numbers. So the way these long-term contracts work is that every year a player's salary can be different, and what he's actually paid in his paychecks and gets to put in his pocket at the end of every season is different than the cap hit. And your cap hit is just the average over the course of the deal money you get paid per year. So over the course of Duncan Keith's 13-year deal with the Blackhawks, he made an average of $5.5 million per season. His cap hit is $5.5 million. But it was a backdiving contract where in these last 2 seasons, he gets $2.1 million one year and $1.5 million the year after. So Ken Holland has to look at his roster now. And in his mind, Duncan Keith has a $5.5 million cap hit. That counts towards their $81.5 million salary cap ceiling. The checks Daryl Cates is cutting are only for $2.1 million and $1.5 million.
That seems like a positive to me.
so there could have been a situation. There could have been a situation if they retained salary, he wouldn't have cost the Oilers $1.
Well, he would have only cost the Oilers 1.05 the first year and $750K the second, hard dollars. But also, if the Oilers could have convinced Chicago to keep money, it only would have costed Chicago ownership pennies compared to what they would have had to pay. Like, that's what's annoying.
Maybe they just Kucherov him all year and we just fucking straight up just practice him with the team and then he comes in the playoffs. Then it won't matter.
Well, that's what we hope Clefbaum is, right?
I'm kidding.
All I know is a guy who likes to talk about his experience sure looked like an amateur today.
Yeah, no kidding.
And that's you. Is there any bit of you that can look at this deal and think about why that there is something you just don't know as to why Ken Holland did this deal?
Sure, I get all of the intangibles. The Keith won three
not
cups.
Not that there's something else. That there's something else in the works. That there's money to be saved somewhere else. I just really don't know.
There could be.
This kind of stuff works.
I just don't get the pick.
But again,
I don't get the pick.
A and B they don't correlate. You don't have to make a good deal because you just made a bad one. Stop making bad trades. This was a very Peter Chiarelli-esque trade for the Oilers today. Chicago had zero leverage in this deal. Keith wanted out and he gave them 4 spots. And yet somehow the Oilers still got absolutely dummied on.
First of all, how dare you bring Peter Chiarelli into this?
Yeah, that's what a Peter Chiarelli
agreed
trade
to never
like.
speak his name. This is not Peter
Strome
Chiarelli.
for Spooner, man.
Oh my Lord.
Okay, that's
aggressive.
I was joking on that.
I get it. You're upset, but like, come on.
I was joking on that one. Okay, I was joking. But like, honestly, there was no need to. Why did they have to make it today? Let Chicago sweat up until the time they have to submit their expansion list, and then maybe they'll retain salary. There was no need to make this trade today. Zero.
Yeah, the timing's
Unless
off.
there's another deal to be done.
The timing's
the
off.
Oilers could have waited. They could have made Chicago sweat.
Okay, just focus, because the people that look, the people that on social media that are saying this stuff, it's all about Duncan Keith. So let's keep this to a Ken Holland bash. If you think that
that's all I've done.
That's all I've done.
Let's do it. You're not the two people I'm talking about. What makes you think that you're the two people I'm talking about?
Because we're on a podcast together right now.
Get them, Chalmers. Kill these two.
Oilers fans in general. I wish that I could find Yaremchuk very positive on Duncan Keith, very down on Holland. That's great. That's you. That's great. It's other people. I wish I could find some right now. I didn't have any saved, but a few of the things I saw were just like, Duncan Keith is a fucking washed up piece of shit.
And
you're
I'm getting a lot more Fire Holland than I am Duncan Keith.
Fire Holland's going to trend in the city today.
It'll be trending right away, 100%. Koskinen and Clefbaum are trending in Edmonton right now.
No need for Ken Holland to make this trade today. For a guy that likes to talk about his experience, he sure looked like an amateur on this one. That's a bag milk. I agree. I never said I don't agree with that. But that statement.
Maybe there's a second part to this trade we don't know about yet.
So I wanted to pitch that out there as well. And I thought, maybe they have like a behind the scenes deal for Mikko Koskinen for future assets that's going to come like after the expansion draft. But then I looked And that doesn't even make a lot of sense. Chicago could have taken Koskinen now and exposed him. And from an Oilers perspective, you could have left Alex Stalock unexposed in the expansion draft, and you still would have met all your parameters that you need to for next week's expansion draft. If there is something, then it just doesn't really make a lot of sense as to why.
Who are our leading candidates to lose to the Kraken? Do we know that kind of thing, or is that would that be just such?
Well, now we open up another point. Now we open up a better player to get exposed because we have to protect Keith now.
Yeah. So now Klefbom. Well, that also that's a signal that Klefbom's probably not playing next season.
So
yeah,
you can't sign Adam Larson now until after the expansion draft unless you're trading Ethan Bear, which. And then Darnell Nurse. So right now you're probably protecting Nurse, Bear, and Keith. And then up front, you're protecting McDavid, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Puljujarvi, Kyler Yamamoto, and then you get to choose two of Benson, Neil, Cassian, Archibald, and Kara. So you get to pick two of those names. I would choose
Archibald.
I would choose Benson. I would choose Benson and Archibald as well.
Yeah. Well, then those guys that we're not protecting, like, I'll help them pack. Straight up. I don't give a fuck. Like, they all proved to be absolutely worthless this season. Straight up. And, like, yeah. I will hate to see if after 10 games you see Duncan Keith get beat wide like 3 or 4 times, and I'll just be sitting here going, you guys were so right. I put my rose-colored glasses on, but you guys were right. And, that's what I hope doesn't happen. But, hey, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Ken Holland, let's just see what happens the rest of this offseason, and let's hope he makes good for these. The bad call by the ref, let's hope we get a couple more. That we can get a couple more in our what is Stahl, and I understand they're different. They're forwards, they're not defensemen, and things are different. But what did those guys get paid this year to play for Montreal?
Corey Perry was $750
league min,
and Eric Stahl was $3 million.
But he came over after the deadline.
He came over after.
Did they have those? Did they have those same kind of cap hit discrepancies, or was that just like that was their cap hit?
No, that was straight across. And Buff or whoever.
And those were I get it. Those were laughed at.
Stahl had money retained, I believe, when he was dealt as well. So, yeah,
they got both of those guys for 30% of Duncan Keith's salary cap.
It basically it puts us out of trying to get Tarasenko.
Yes.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It puts us out of upgrading our forwards by $3 million.
I can't believe it.
What other veteran player in the NHL that would have been looking for a home that would have reminded you of a Duncan Keith or an Eric Stahl or a Corey Perry are going to be available? Who?
Chara.
I wouldn't have taken Chara because I think he's probably past his prime.
But it's the same thing, though.
Yeah,
you could have just signed him for nothing.
Chara will play again, I bet.
I wouldn't be entirely sure about that.
He's a vegetarian.
Where could this go on?
I was so excited when he came on social media. I'm like, oh, Chara, that's cool. Oh, he's tweeting in Czech. That's cool. I wonder what he's going to talk about. Fucking broccoli and shit.
You probably could have gotten Nick Chalmerson for like league minimum if you wanted.
Chris Chalmerson?
Yeah, Chris.
I love that guy.
That guy's the shit.
I actually like Chalmerson. Is Chalmerson a free agent?
Yeah, he's a UFA. He's taken a step back recently. He's not very good anymore, but still
heavy miles on him.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard, apparently.
He's also 4 years younger than Duncan Keith.
guys, that was 30 minutes of real hockey talk there. Proud of you guys. Proud of us.
Yeah. And let me just wrap it all up. Let me just wrap it all up by saying this. The Oilers got a bad deal in the Duncan Keith trade, but if you're listening to this and you want to get a good deal, head to twigandberries.ca. Use the promo code Nation15. They got a ton of great summer clothing as well as their very own brand of Twig and Berries underwear. Check it out. twigandberries.ca, promo code Nation15.
Jay, I brought you presents today.
Yeah, I was trying to, I was in the middle of a rant and I came in and it just stopped me in my tracks.
You're in the middle of like flambeing the deal and then you were getting a present and your mood brightened immeasurably.
So I just want to talk about it for a second. last week I went and picked up the golf clubs from Jay. I was very grateful, and I decided that I was going to buy you a present. I was just like, it's a nice thing. You saved me $1,000. I'm going to buy you a gift. So I was consulting. I consulted with Mrs. J. She's like, you know what? I said, maybe a nice bottle of scotch would work. And she's like, I think that's a really good idea. So I spoke to our boy, Carrie. He sent me on an adventure around the city to look for specific scotch.
Wow.
Found. And then I talked to Wanye, and he's like, you know, it'd be a really fun gift to get him is
ready for this, Jay?
Oh, I see it.
Pool basket.
Yeah, pool ball, buddy.
What is it you keep cutting out?
Pool basketball.
Okay.
It's like a basketball hoop for Jay's pool. And it comes
full
all
circle. Full circle. Full circle.
Full circle. Yes, exactly.
So
this is like Wanye's pool growing up.
But I thought it would be fun to just drop them on you in the middle of the podcast. You had you knew I was coming here today, but you didn't know I was bearing gifts.
Yeah, this was I was very taken back, Bag Milk. Thank you very much.
So what kind of scotch? I'm a big scotch fan. What kind of scotch is it?
Oh, I've never even heard of this. It's a Bunna Habahane.
Bunna, yeah.
Okay.
Show it.
So,
oh wow, it's from the Lord of the Rings.
You know it's good.
Yeah, wow. So I talked to Harry, and he says this is a legit bottle of scotch. It's a good price. You can go, but you'll have to look for it because not many people carried it. So I had to go for an adventure around the city to a few different liquor stores until I finally found it.
Carrie just sent you a series of riddles to answer to get you around from.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, because what I asked him, I was like, Carrie, I don't know jack shit about scotch at all. Zero. And then he gave me a bunch, and he's just like, but I think this is your best bet in terms of value for the money. And finally found it. I finally found it.
Can we talk about this basketball set? What kind of basketball set is it? Because the one that
and its parent.
We used to play at Wanye's house when we were kids. Wanye had a pool, grew up with a pool, lucky boy. But he had an actual cemented-in basketball net, and we spent hours playing basketball there. And
we also had the pool ball though, Chalmers. Remember, we would do the boat. We'd play in the pool and play in the driveway.
Yeah, but I've seen some cool basketball ones that like is this a floating one? Because I've seen some fucking awesome ones like that.
No.
This one goes like on the side of the pool. Yeah. It looks like
nice.
Water, whatever to weigh it down, but a couple of balls or whatever. It should be
That's
a good
what
time.
you want. That's what you want.
That is fucking awesome. That is what you want. I was hoping that you didn't buy a floating one because I was just about to make fun of them. But if it's one that goes on the side and stays stationary, that's the goods right there.
That you can dunk on.
Nice.
The whole point of pool ball is dunking on a low hoop.
Well, Wanye told me the idea, get him pool basketball. And I'm like, I fucking love this idea. So that's, I went out and I found it. It's going to be a good time.
We'll have a nation pool party.
You're one U571 party J away from full circle.
That's right.
We used to play a game, Chalmers. You remember that game, U571?
Oh yeah.
So we would huck empty beer cans into the pool as youth, and then when one would sink, we'd nominate someone like a submarine to go down and get it, U571 style. Because that was a popular movie of the era.
Yeah.
Exactly. Starring Charlton Heston and Betty White, who was 15 at the time.
So I am also going to be getting JR a pool present, basically to when I was at his house on Canada Day. I got to see a lot of my friends got very, very excited and probably need to buy him a gift to say thank you. And I am sorry for going full Chalmers in your pool. And so I am going to be getting him one of those floating beer pong.
Nice.
Yeah. So we can play beer pong in the pool.
Charles, you don't remember playing floating beer pong at my party?
Did somebody get it for us?
Yeah, we played it.
You have one?
I think your idea is actually a memory.
Holy shit.
Hey, wait.
I don't remember playing that.
So,
it was hot.
Chalmers, you got so drunk that you remembered playing floating beer pong as like a dream and are now pitching it back to Jay as an idea?
I thought I saw it as more of an Instagram ad.
Inspiration comes from wild places.
Your kids were playing it too.
Someone's kids.
Oh, I don't remember how that game went. Well, they came and took it over because we were playing a heated one. and then your kids, we let them throw one, and then another kid came on the other side, and then the kids took over our game.
You know what would be fun is a floating game of cornhole.
I got that too.
That day.
You got that?
I got floating cornhole. Yep.
Oh, you had yeah. This was like a 3-in-1, wasn't it?
No.
2-in-1.
No.
Chalmers also has a great idea for a veteran left-handed defenseman the Oilers could acquire.
Yeah.
He's got a good idea for the move.
Duncan Keith.
He's got a trade proposal.
I have an idea.
Caleb Jones in a first rounder, and we retain all of Caleb's salary.
To my defense, one of the things that make me likable is that I'm very excitable. And this was the first time I had been in a place with a bunch of my friends, and I forgot to start drinking water because it was very, very hot that day. Everybody else stuck to that practice, but I did not. So, yeah, whatever. It was a fucking great time. That's all I know.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Okay. Well, you said you had voicemails, eh? Well, what should we talk about first? Should we talk about the grossest injury in sports that I've ever seen in my life that happened this
Big
weekend?
Brother.
Dude, that happens in every UFC now.
That's a new thing in the UFC.
Nobody stands on their own shin bone.
Stands on their own shin.
Just thinking about it.
I've been avoiding it, so I'm not partaking in the conversation. I can't do that stuff.
It's gross.
Then we won't talk about it. Beg Milk, I got to admit, I've only watched Wednesday's Big Brother so far.
Oh, I'm behind.
Me too. I've only watched Wednesday.
Damn it. I should have watched it yesterday.
Has everybody watched the very first one, though?
No. Let me catch up. I'm sorry.
We got to start on Thursday.
Okay.
I had a chance to watch them all yesterday, and I got caught up in some other stupid show.
How many is there to catch up on? There's Wednesdays. There's obviously a Sunday, but there's a Wednesday and a Sunday?
So far, yeah.
I'm not going to spoil anything for you, Jay, but they totally changed how everybody comes into the house and how things are settled right off the bat. And it is great.
Oh,
it's way better. It's more interesting.
Yeah, man. It was way better, way more interesting. Okay. It wasn't your typical like episode where you get to meet everybody. They sit around, they have champagne, and they talk. And this is all just, you're not getting much action. This was action front to back. It was great. So you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I just find after the way, we were all disappointed last season of Big Brother. So far, it started like with the new, like Chalmers said, with the way people enter the house now, it's already more interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
But
any babes? What's the situation with the babes, Chalmers?
Babes are babes, man. Babes
are there
good.
Babes?
Guys are awesome. Yeah,
oh my God, guys are awesome. I don't care what the guys are awesome.
We talk
look for girls. We have a male server. Oh, great. Thanks, Chalmers. What's the babe situation?
They abandoned the old guy.
They did.
There's no old guy this year. They abandoned the old guy.
The farmer guy's kind of old.
He's 34, man.
He's only 34.
That's 4 years younger than Duncan Keith.
Oh, shit. He does not look 34.
Let's trade for him.
Yeah. How many years left in his deal?
I liked Derek Derek F in his intro video, just been like, "Hi, I'm Derek. I'm from Philly. Oh, by the way, my dad is smoking Joe Frazier." Like, oh, yeah, that's just a little drop, eh? Like, not a big deal. One of the best boxers ever.
He once fought Muhammad Ali and Larry Holmes. Yeah, no, yeah, I think we know who he is. Yep. Fucking unbelievable. It's gonna be a good season. My initial reaction to the whole cast, I like everybody so far, and usually I get rubbed the wrong way by at least 2 or 3 people right off the bat, just by the way they act when they're coming in. But yeah, it's cool. I like it. Okay, well, no Big Brother talk. Thanks, Jay.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Sounds good.
So do we want to dig into a couple of voicemails here?
Are they good?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a few that are good. There's one, I'll be honest, I forgot to edit. I think it was from Chandler. I just had to clean it up a little bit. But we got one here from a friend of the show that you guys will definitely like. It's a long one though, so giddy up. Here we go.
The audio's better.
Gentlemen, what's good? What's cracking? What's shaking, y'all? I got a question for you guys. If we can get waivers signed and legal liabilities taken care of for winter 2021 or early 2022, can the possibility of an Oilers Nation SlamBall tournament happen? If it can, I will officially enter a team representing Avery Sports Show into the tournament. That's a guarantee, fellas. And no, Wanye, SlamBall didn't tape on an offshore stadium. The games were taped. Season 1 was taped in a TV studio. Season 2 in Universal Studios in LA. And the reason why it went away from Spike TV was because Spike wanted to make SlamBall like wrestling. Fixed games. And Mason Gordon, the founder, said SlamBall is a real sport. It's not wrestling. So that's why he left Spike TV. Anyways, guys, enjoy the podcast. It's always fun. And remember, donaires are awful.
Avery. It was Avery about 10 seconds in.
Oh, I love it.
Avery,
Something me and Avery can agree on, donaires. And yeah.
Well, and a mutual love for SlamBall.
I
would
respect
love
the sanctity play there by this founder of SlamBall.
Yeah. Avery has to play wearing a fedora though.
Yeah, his team wears blazers too, and they're very bright
blazers.
colors.
Yeah, very very tight fitting blazers, well fitted. Sorry, properly tailored. Clothes and fedoras, and that has to be Avery's team, and we can make this.
Dude, if we're gonna have a SlamBall team, an Oilers Nation SlamBall team, I'll tell you right now, I am going to be the coach, or I am going to look like Conor McGregor after this weekend if I play, because I am in no way, shape, or form in any type of condition to be playing SlamBall.
But also, I like Avery thinking that the only thing standing in the way of us in a SlamBall tournament is like waivers.
Yeah,
and
legal
maybe not
stuff.
like an actual place to play it, like a stadium.
Yeah, dude, they have those. They have
those trampoline. Yeah, just put I've got a basketball net. I got one of them taken care of.
There you go.
I've been to one, and I don't. We just have to. God, who would pay to get the basketball net put in?
Didn't the
But
guy?
They have
Wasn't
one that
everybody
has
Conor McGregoring their ankle like once a game in SlamBall?
Well, probably.
Yeah, man. People were blowing up like balloons.
I have my whole legs taped from knee to ankle.
When I went on Twitter, I didn't watch the fight. When I went on Twitter, the first tweet I saw was all caps. His foot is a balloon with like 75,000 likes. Like, that's not good.
How about the guy on Twitter that tweeted out before the fight? Got a feeling Conor McGregor's going to break his leg tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
like Joe Thornton being everywhere in a limo with Bieber right behind Trump. What the hell?
Oh, dude,
he was in
party bus.
He was in
Party bus.
Kardashian's party bus. Yeah.
And then all the photos of Trump. All the photos of Trump. He's in the background.
Jeez, that's hilarious.
That's the most PR the Leafs have had in like 20 years.
I can't tell. Like, are these guys like? Is Joey T getting into this stuff because he's friends with Matthews? Like, is Matthews?
I think Bieber is getting Matthews into being a celebrity.
Yeah.
And Matthews loves Thornton.
Celebrity.
And Thornton loves
Thornton's
Vegas.
like a second layer hanger on at this point.
No. Joey T's at the end of his career. It's like when Warren Buffett was in the episode of Entourage.
And
at this point, he's just doing what he wants.
Yeah.
Who was in Warren Buffett was in an episode of The Office?
Yep. It's when,
How did this escape my knowledge?
When Michael Scott leaves and they're interviewing the replacements, he's just in there like a flash.
Oh, he's like an extra?
He's got like
waiting
one
for
line.
an interview? Oh.
Remember in Entourage how he was like riding in a golf cart?
Yeah.
That was crazy, hey?
Bros was a good show.
Do we
That was crazy.
we had a couple more here. One of them was from Quinn, and one of them was from Quinn, but I think that one's more for Oilers Nation Radio. Bearded Brad sent us one of him just doing a Neon Nation bomb, but it's only audio.
Is he ever not doing a Neon Nation? That
he's
guy,
living
man.
his best life.
He's got a Nation beer glued to his hand at all times.
He's the only guy I know who's having as much fun during COVID as before. Like, it hasn't slowed him down 1 degree. I respect it.
COVID's over, bro.
But we got one from Adam that was directed right at Chalmers, so we'll play that one here.
Oh, hey, Adam.
Hi, this one is for Chalmers specifically. I have 2 questions for you. 1, do you think we get a good trade for Josh Archibald going to Winnipeg for like Mason Appleton or something? And 2, now that I know you toned me out, how far away would you have to stand before you could hit a hole-in-one in disc golf?
Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Red herring.
Well, we have to find this out.
Trade talk. Answer the first one.
Okay, so first off, Josh Archibald and that other guy, I really like. I have zero idea. I don't even know how to bullshit this one. Who's the other guy?
Mason Appleton. Winnipeg would never do it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. They'll never do it, because of what we talked about. Remember your Chuck? Because this is where you tell us why. Fuck.
Oh, because Appleton can actually score goals and drive offense. That's why.
Yeah, that. Okay, so now that we got the first one, how far could I? So they do it in yardage, right? That dude that hit that one shot in the championships, that was a 246-yard throw.
Whoa, that's insane.
Yeah, man, that's far. That's very far. My average golf drive goes about 260 to 280. I think that I could hit one. I mean, first try, 200 yards.
First try?
No. I'm first try question mark.
You really walked that back, AJ.
You think you could throw a frisbee 200 yards?
First try.
600 feet for those.
Oh man, that is a far toss.
I don't think it is. I don't think it.
I can do an arrow beat. I can throw an arrow beat that far.
Do you see how most
can you
of
throw
them
an arrow press that far? That's what I want to know.
You know how? Yeah, but disc golfs are more rigid, so they're not like frisbees. They don't fly right or left because they get some little bend in them, right? And so, they're more rigid. I think you could throw them further because they're a little bit heavier, right? So I'm gonna, I think that 180 to 200 would be what I would say. But if you stood 200 yards from a golf hole, Jay, you don't think you could throw a heavier, more rigid disc golf 200 yards? I do.
I'd say no.
I mean, maybe I could. Okay. I can learn to do these things. I think I could get there. But if I'm going to answer the question, I bet you if I'm going to push it right now with my current abilities in disc golf, 100 yards. And that's fucking far. To bang them chains in one?
Bang them chains? Is that the term?
Yeah.
Banging chains. Oh, yeah.
That's kind of gangster.
I think I could maybe get a 50.
When we go to do our very first one, there's two methods of throwing. There's the rigid, the frisbee type, where you throw it cross your body, I guess you would call it. But then most of the guys that I see throw it out to the side. What would that be called? I don't even know what they're called. But they throw it out to the sidearm, right? And I believe that sidearm is going to get you way more distance, but way less accuracy. That's just my.
I feel like you can get that discus
opinion.
kind of coil turn into the traditional way. It's like you need a lot of fuck.
Well, are we doing this thing soon? Are we doing it tomorrow?
I wanted to do it last week.
Yeah,
but Jay was out of town, so now everybody's in town. We're all fired up. Let's go. It's going to be a beautiful week. Let's go.
Okay, I can do it tomorrow. I don't know if everyone else can, but I cannot do it next week because I'm on vacation.
Okay, I'm gonna.
It's got to be done this week
right now.
It's got to be done this week. Let's stop twiddling our thumbs here.
I can do today, or tomorrow, or I can do Wednesday. One of the two.
It has to be Tuesday.
Let's figure it.
Has to be Tuesday.
Wednesday would be preferable for me, just because I got a thing.
Classic.
Well, we'll go offline and we'll let Jay chime in with how he's going to ruin this and not have time for us.
And not that anyone will need it for our game of disc golf, but in case you need it in general, manscaped.com, the all new lawnmower 4.0 and all their amazing products.
Don't tell me how to play disc golf.
Fair enough. Maybe we're doing a little shirts versus skins and you got to clean up the chest fuzz or something like that with the lawnmower. You can do it. It's not just for your balls. Promo
Perhaps
code
you're about to appear in pornography. You'd like to keep it trim.
Where are you going, Wanye?
It's a Little Brick. I have to meet Bag Milk.
Everyone's going to be at Little Brick except me today. Sad.
And me.
Miss seeing everyone in person. Yeah. You too, John.
Hey, I got a question. You're Chuck. now that we announced this raffle to play with us, I've had a lot of people reach out to me on social media asking how
For real?
I have no idea. Oh yeah, like
My dad wants to bid on it.
Well, you'll have to buck up.
I'm with the more questions people ask, the more I realize I didn't even know. But are they bidding like an auction, or is it like you pay for your money and then you get put into a raffle?
Well. Look who tried to sell himself off and didn't think through the logistics.
Well, normally you do it as an auction. The big thing is about raising money for charity, right? So we want to make sure we can do that. So like we could do a raffle if we know we'll sell 100 tickets, but that seems like a lot. So you're probably better served to have someone submit bids for the twosome to play with us.
I agree.
How do you set that up? I don't know how to set that up.
Yeah, where are we setting that up?
We can just do it through DMs, man. It doesn't have to be like, we can make it really easy. It's not like anyone has to pay up front. We secure someone and then they say, okay. And then they can send payment after.
But it's like, if somebody bids to me, they're like, I'll pay $500 to play with you guys for the two of us, plus I'll pay my entry fee. How do I? So what we're doing. Yeah. So what we're doing. Yeah. So we're going to consolidate it through one channel. Right. So it's not like we want people DMing you. We'll put it all through real life. I don't want that either.
Yeah. So we just direct everyone to the real life accounts and they can submit their offers in there. And right. That doesn't am I making this?
Or because yeah. Because how are we setting this?
Seems like a bagged milk logistical game.
Yeah, like is it you and a friend gets to golf with the three of us? So you're only paying for like a 2-person package then versus the 4-person package, which is $1,000 for the.
Well, but remember, it's for charity. So highest bidder gets it.
Yeah.
Right.
And the money goes to Gregor's grads.
And the money goes to Gregor's grads. So that's gonna how it's works. So we devoted a spot in the tournament to do this. I'm gonna try to do another one with some other people as well. But
are we flying Frank up?
Well, we'll see. Frank wants to come to Edmonton before the season starts, so that might be a great time to have him come up.
Like the perfect time, probably.
Yes, and he loves golf.
Yeah,
so it's a win-win.
So I get to be with the real life package. I'm not going to go with the DFO rundown package.
Oh fuck!
I'm just kidding.
I feel like your Chuck. You need Chalmers and I to carry you around the golf course.
I feel like for the full your Check experience, you want to play with you and your dad.
He mentioned the other day, he was like, because I told him about the golf trip or the golf tournament, and he was like, how can I buy it? Like, can you buy me one and I'll pay you back? And I was like, oh boy. I was like, Dad, it might just be a booze fest. Like, I don't know if you'll enjoy it, but he seems pretty adamant that he wants to give it a go.
Yeah, they're pretty fun. It'd be nice to.
I don't think your dad's a paying patron. I think he's a celebrity participant.
I don't think he would. True. Knowing my dad, he would not enjoy that kind of attention. He would rather just pay the money. Anyways, nationgear.ca if you want to go pick up a pass to or a foursome for our Oilers Nation Open. Here's what it gets you. I know we talked about it on the last pod, but I'll say it again. Once again, all in support of Gregor's Grads, which is a fantastic initiative. It is August 26th. That's a Thursday out at the Cougar Creek Golf Resort. $1,000 a team. You get a group of 4 for that $1,000. There is going to be a dinner after, correct?
We just don't know what it's going to be because we just don't know. We just want to be super safe about it. So it might be something we do outside. But there's going to be something there.
There'll be something. The gift bags are always tremendous. Like the last time we had one, you got a free Nation Gear hat, correct?
We'll try. We'll see what we can do on the gear side this time. There'll be some Wilhock beef jerky. There's always all of our partners chip in. Like the swag bags themselves are. And
if you're sitting there going, well, I want to, drink a little and have a good time, we load up on a bus at the Pint, right? Earlier in the day. And the bus takes you out to Cougar Creek and back to the Pint.
Bus to and from, that's normally a good time. And so free bus ride from the Pint. Pint's going to open up a little bit earlier. So there's going to be a brunch there. If you want to come and have brunch, Pint will have specials for us. And then we can head on there after the tournament to kick on or to kick off. You decide. It's a good time. So Gregor, this is the time that Gregor does a speech at the end and always cries. I'm trying to convince Gregor to not do your show, but don't be on your show for a day and have him play. He should. I know.
Yeah, he should.
I know. So, like, we'll see. Maybe
they should do their show live on the air while they're playing.
While they're playing, exactly.
Yeah, that'd be a good show.
So, yeah. So
remember when Gregor got drunk on the air that one year, Jay? Remember when Gregor got drunk on his show, proving how much it took to get drunk?
No, it was because Habibulin got that DUI, and it was considered like a super DUI, and his blood alcohol level was a certain. I can't remember what it was. He drank till that point to know what it felt like and did his show.
No, he didn't. Gregor actually did this?
Yes.
On the air. It was great radio.
Wow. That's hilarious.
Fun. We should do one of those.
I appreciated this episode because we managed to squeak in like 30 minutes of actual hockey talk. What?
I appreciated you.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I was allowed to yell about how I felt about the Duncan Keith thing because
awful.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot more yelling to come, and hopefully Ken Holland finds a way to turn around this offseason.
Good news, though. I'm looking at traffic on Oilers Nation, and we are popping, boy.
Oh, I went and I looked at my Twitter analytics, and I was like, yep, it's going to be a good one. Like, my posts are all popping off right now. It's fantastic stuff. So if you're in the media game, this is the kind of shit that gets you going. People always say, like, isn't it better when the Oilers are winning? And, like, I know this is the case certainly at the radio station. I'm not sure if it's necessarily the case at ON, but, like, when they're bad, our ratings are better. Like, people love yelling when they're pissed off about the Oilers, and that usually just drives engagement and listenership like through the fucking roof. So it's always interesting to see how the fan base reacts to a big move like this. We'll have more on it. We'll have a new episode of Oilers Nation Radio coming up at the end of the week as well, and another episode of Real Life on Thursday. Also, for all your off-season needs, dailyfaceoff.com and the DFO rundown. But this has been episode 297 of the Real Life Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. Shout out to the HGA group. We'll be back on Thursday.
Great job on making it through the entire hour of the Real Life Podcast. Don't forget to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast from.